There is a silent and profound secret engraved within the most intimate and invisible gears of your being, an eternal spiritual and psychological law that the overwhelming majority of people spend their entire lives completely ignoring, while harvesting pain, scarcity, rigidity, and anguish in the difficult days that follow without truce. Dr. Joseph Murphy observed this exact pattern for over 4 decades in his office in the city of Los Angeles. He saw men and women reverse clinical conditions considered completely irreversible by traditional medicine, dissolve devastating chronic pain, and restore the vitality of the flesh simply by altering the exact frequency of the mind 30 minutes before falling asleep in the stillness of the night. There is a living, conscious, loving, and infinitely wise intelligence operating within every single one of your cells at this exact instant as you listen to this voice. And most of humanity spends their days and nights activating the destructive and inflammatory response of that very same force without even realizing the harm they inflict upon themselves. Have you ever wondered why physical pain insists on returning right when you try to relax at the end of the day? Or why your body seems to carry the unbearable weight of ancient anguish, grudges, and rejections even when your logical mind tries to forget the past? Your body is not an isolated machine made of flesh and bone, lost in a cold, chaotic, and hostile universe. Your body is the exact projection, the perfect mirror, and the three-dimensional condensation of everything that your deep mind accepts as absolute truth in the silence of your heart. When you live in a permanent state of alert, feeding resentments held for years, fears of an uncertain tomorrow, or the blind belief that disease is stronger than life, your biological structure reacts immediately to that mental command, translating the invisible poison of thought into inflammation, rigidity, and physical pain. The pain in your spine, the suffocating tightness in your chest, or the persistent and chronic weakness in your joints are not divine punishments nor random twists of fate. They are desperate appeals from your biology, demanding that you change the code you are transmitting to your internal system. The human mind is the architect of the temple of flesh, and when the architect works consumed by anxiety or rancor, the entire structure begins to show cracks and pain. Every thought you nourish throughout your waking hours releases an immediate chemical charge that courses through your veins, altering the vibrational pattern of your cells and shaping your state of health. If you spend your afternoons complaining about symptoms, searching frightening diagnoses on the internet, and sharing your sufferings with friends and neighbors, you are feeding the monster of infirmity. Your subconscious does not understand jokes, irony, or meaningless venting. It interprets every word uttered with emotion as a direct order to keep the pain alive in your organism. Real healing does not begin at the pharmacy or on the operating table, although medicine is a blessed instrument of human knowledge. Real and definitive healing begins the moment you decide to harmonize your thoughts with the creator source of all life. Clara Vance was 47 years old when she found herself completely immobile in a hospital bed in the city of Philadelphia during the harsh winter of 1958. Her knees and hands were severely deformed by a chronic and overwhelming joint pain that doctors at the time called incurable. Her mornings were accompanied by the metallic smell of heavy medications on the gray Formica nightstand, and her nights were filled with silent weeping caused by the biting cold that seeped through the old windows of the hospital room. Clara spent the entire day repeating to nurses, doctors, and relatives how unbearable her pain was, how her body was deteriorating rapidly, and how she feared ending her days completely invalid and dependent on others. She was, without knowing it, applying the law of hypnotic suggestion in reverse. She was giving clear daily orders charged with intense emotion for her subconscious to maintain and multiply the destruction in her biological tissues. That was when a copy of the works of Dr. Joseph Murphy reached her trembling hands through a distant friend who came to visit. Clara understood for the very first time in her journey that the same mind that accepted and produced pain possessed the original perfect mold to execute the absolute regeneration of her body. She made a radical decision at that very instant. She stopped talking about the illness with anyone who entered that room. She categorically refused to feed the narrative of weakness and invalidity. Every night, upon turning off the lights in that cold room, she gently placed her hands upon her chest and entered a state of near sleep, where the conscious mind silences its doubts. Instead of focusing on the swelling and the torturing pain of her joints, she imagined a warm, radiant, golden light flowing through her blood. While repeating a single sentence with faith, feeling deep relief course through every nerve ending in her body. She did not fight against the symptoms. She simply ignored the physical pain and fixed her attention on the image of herself walking freely through the city parks. In less than 3 months, the severe inflammation subsided completely. The doctors looked at the radiological exams and found no logical scientific explanation for the complete restoration of tissues and the reconstruction of cartilages. But Clara knew exactly what had happened. She had activated the healing presence. Say this out loud, or repeat in silence within your heart. Divine life flows in me now, dissolving all pain and restoring peace. Your deep mind works through an immutable spiritual and psychological law that we call on this channel the code of the biological matrix. This concept reveals that your subconscious mind has no capacity to judge, argue, or select what is good or bad for your health. It is like the fertile soil of the field. If you plant seeds of fear, old age, pain, and decay, the ground will respond by materializing those exact seeds in the form of symptoms in your body. If you, on the other hand, sow ideas of harmony, perfection, abundant life, and inner peace, the subconscious will trigger the exact chemical, hormonal, and cellular processes to align your organism with perfect health. Physical pain is nothing more than a temporary misalignment between your earthly consciousness and the infinite intelligence that inhabits your inner temple. When you connect with anger, with unconscious guilt, or with resentment towards someone who hurt you in the past, you create a short circuit in the flow of this vital energy. Your physical body begins to cry out through the symptom what your mind refused to heal through forgiveness and truth. God does not inhabit a distant throne above the clouds, looking at your sufferings with indifference. God is the infinite intelligence that made your heart beat in this exact fraction of a second without you having to give a conscious order for it. That same force that rebuilt the skin of Dr. Joseph Murphy when he healed his own malignant tumor is present right now inside your arteries, your muscles, and your brain. It is merely awaiting your mental command. It is waiting for you to stop fighting life and start emitting the exact frequency of perfect harmony. When you understand that the Creator and the creation are interconnected by this invisible web of consciousness, the very idea of vulnerability dissolves before your eyes. There is no disease in the universe that can resist the presence of divine light when it is invoked with absolute conviction and clarity of purpose. Fear is the only barrier that prevents the healing presence from performing its work of restoration in your organs and tissues. By abandoning fear and entrusting your health into the hands of this inner intelligence, you open the doors for miracles of regeneration to happen in your life. Say this out loud, or repeat in silence within your heart. My body is the sacred temple of infinite and perfect intelligence. When you quiet the incessant chatter of your conscious mind, when you interrupt the continuous transmission of bad news, financial worries, and frightening diagnoses, your subconscious mind begins to work immediately in your favor. No symptom is permanent in your body unless you continue feeding the idea of that symptom through your recurrent thoughts and daily emotions. At every moment, your body is manufacturing millions of new cells. If you change the mental instruction you send to your organism today, the cells born tomorrow will already be born under the decree of health, purification, and total restoration. A mind harmonized with the divine presence leaves no room for pain to persist. Pain is an illusion of matter that dissipates at the exact moment the light of consciousness awakens to the truth of who you truly are. You are the living expression of the Creator, and in the Source, there is no pain, there is no lack, there is no disease, and there is no decay. The conscious mind is like the captain on the deck of a great transatlantic ship. He observes the horizon, makes decisions based on human logic, and consults the maps of physical reality and laboratory tests. But the captain does not move the gigantic gears of the ship. The captain does not push the steel propellers that cut through the vastness of the ocean's dark waters. Those moving the vessel are the engineers in the engine room, deep within the hull, operating in the dark, without questioning, judging, or arguing with the orders coming down through the communication tube. If the captain transmits orders of panic, despair, and impending collision, the engine room will simply execute the order with blind fidelity, steering the entire structure straight against the rocks of destruction. Your subconscious mind is that inner engine room. It does not possess the capacity to judge the moral value of your order. It does not argue whether your worry is fair or unfair. It simply takes the feeling of pain and despair you maintained all day and transforms it into devastating cellular chemistry during the night. When you lay your head on the pillow, carrying the fixed idea that the pain in your body is incurable, that your family has a history of severe diseases, or that your time of physical vigor has already passed, your inner captain is shouting to the depths, destroy the vigor of the flesh, maintain rigidity, and perpetuate inflammation. And infinite intelligence, in its absolute and impersonal obedience to the law of creation, merely fulfills the mental mold that you yourself drew upon the canvas of your consciousness. The greatest tragedy of human life is not the presence of disease. It is ignorance regarding the power that created it and the power that can dissolve it in the blink of an eye. You do not need to convince God to heal your body. God has already placed perfect life inside your genetic code the day you were conceived in your mother's womb. What you need to do is turn off the panic transmitters of your conscious mind and allow the engineers in your engine room to work in peace. When the captain calms down and decrees the order of harmony, the engine room restores exact pressure, cleans the pipes, and sets the ship back on the course of perfection. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. Infinite intelligence, which created my body, is now restoring my health. The greatest illusion constructed by the earthly mind is the blind belief that pain, viruses, and decay are autonomous forces possessing their own power over your being. You were taught since childhood to believe that your body is a deflex victim of external factors, heredity, climate, and inevitable aging. But that is a lie told by human fear. Matter itself is completely inert. The flesh possesses no intelligence of its own to become sick or feel pain on its own. The flesh is merely the primordial clay that obeys the sculptor's hand, and the sculptor of your flesh is the collection of thoughts and feelings that you accept as truth throughout your days. When you sustain the idea that your body is aging with pain, or that a physical condition is irreversible, you are committing a true heresy against the divine presence inhabiting your chest. You are placing medical diagnosis on the absolute throne and demoting the living God that dwells within you to the status of a helpless servant of matter. The law of the mind cannot be revoked by human decrees. What you accept in your heart as true will inevitably manifest in your muscle tissue, your bones, and your internal organs. To purify your body of all physical and emotional pain, you must deactivate right now the illusion that there is any external force capable of opposing the perfection of divine life. Disease is not a real entity with a life of its own. Disease is merely the temporary absence of light, just as darkness is merely the absence of a lit lamp. When you turn on the light of inner conviction, the darkness of pain has nowhere to flee. It simply ceases to exist. Your deep mind operates under what we call on this channel the code of the biological matrix. This immutable law establishes that the subconscious is fertile and neutral ground, where every thought accepted as true acts as a living seed planted in the sacred soil of your biology. If you sow seeds of suppressed anger, ancient resentment toward a family member, or constant fear of the future, the fertile ground of your subconscious germinates those seeds in the form of muscle tension, joint pain, and inflammatory processes in your body. Modern psychosomatic medicine now tries to prove what Joseph Murphy was already teaching in his lectures in California. Unforgiven resentment is the hidden cause of a large portion of humanity's chronic illnesses. When you hold anger towards someone, it is as if you were drinking a glass of poison every day and expecting the other person to die. The poison circulates in your own blood, destroying your immune defenses and generating pain in your flesh. But the instant you cleanse the soil of your mind, replacing old patterns of grudge with the freedom of forgiveness and ideas of perfection, harmony, and divine peace, the subconscious immediately alters the chemistry of your blood and the frequency of your cellular regeneration. Pain is not a divine sentence. Pain is merely a gracious and loving alarm from nature, warning that you are maintaining a thought of discord and separation from the creator source. By altering the mental command at the cause, the physical consequence in matter is dissolved at the root, and pain disappears like mist dissipating before the strength of the morning sun. Forgiving does not mean agreeing with another's mistake. Forgiving means removing that person's image from your engine room so they stop sabotaging your health. By setting your pest free, you set your joints, your spine, and your heart free from all the burden of pain accumulated over the years. Diga isso em voz alta, ou repita em silêncio no seu coração. My body is blessed by harmony, vitality, and continuous divine peace. Think of your conscious mind as a movie projector and your body as the white screen upon which the images of life are displayed daily. If the image projected on the screen is one of destruction, pain, limitation, and suffering, it would be absolute nonsense to try to tear or scrape the screen to change the movie being shown. You do not change the projection by fighting the screen. You change the image by changing the reel of film spinning inside the projector. Your body is merely the white screen. The pains, rigidities, and physical symptoms you experience now are merely the image projected by your daily thoughts and suppressed emotions in the dark. Fighting disease using despair, anxiety, panic, and constant complaining is the same as trying to erase the image on the theater screen with your own hands. It is a futile and exhausting effort that only generates more tiredness, pain, and frustration. Change the reel of the inner projector. Change the central image of your deep mind. Begin to contemplate with real feeling the image of your body. Strong, flexible, radiant, full of energy, and absolutely free from any physical limitation or suffering. By sustaining this new image in the silence of your soul, without listening to the doubts of the world, the screen of your physical body will have no other choice but to reflect with mathematical precision the new light emanating from within you. The transformation of your health does not require years of exhausting struggle. It requires only the courageous decision to change the matrix of your thought this very day. From this moment on, refuse to accept any thought of weakness as if it were your definitive truth. You are the master of your mind, the projector of your reality, and the living temple of the healing presence. Sit comfortably at this very moment, or remain lying down in the stillness of your room if you are preparing for the deep rest of the night. Close your eyes gently and slow down the rhythm of your breathing. Let all the worries of the day, pending deadlines, difficult conversations, and tensions accumulated in your muscles dissolve completely like smoke in the wind. There is absolutely nothing to be resolved right now in the outer world. There is no earthly diagnosis, no matter how frightening it may seem, that can resist the overwhelming presence of the infinite intelligence that dwells in your soul. In this state of deep serenity, when your conscious mind falls silent and the portal of the subconscious opens wide in the twilight, we are going to perform together the scientific prayer of purification and absolute restoration. Feel the words echoing not only in your intellect, but in the very tissue of every cell, every artery, and every organ of your body. The infinite intelligence that created my physical body from a single divine cell now knows the original, perfect, and immaculate mold of my health. The healing presence dwells in me at this exact fraction of a second, flowing freely like a crystal river of golden light through all my arteries, veins, tissues, bones, and joints. All pain, all inflammation, all rigidity, and every pattern of disharmony accumulated over the years are now completely dissolved by the sovereign light of spiritual truth. My subconscious mind accepts the supreme command of abundant life. My blood is purified by divine force, my tissues are regenerated in silence, and my mind is filled with the indisputable peace of God. I completely forgive my past. I release all the people who have hurt me, all ancient grudges, and all memories of pain, surrendering each one of them into the sea of divine forgetfulness. I am perfectly aligned with the supreme source of existence. My body is the sacred and inviolable temple of life, vigorous, flexible, radiant, and absolutely free from any physical limitation. I give thanks for the complete and definitive healing that is already manifesting in my material reality right now, and so it is forever and ever. Say this out loud, or repeat in silence within your heart. The healing presence renews my life in perfect harmony and peace. Reaffirm within your being the immutable spiritual truth that frees man from all his material and mental chains. Disease was never a divine creation. Physical pain and suffering were never the Creator's will for your journey of evolution on Earth. Pain in the flesh and anguish in the soul are nothing more than passing illusions created by the temporary forgetting of your true spiritual origin. When you finally discover that you are not a physical body trying to have a spiritual experience in the world, but rather an eternal spiritual being, temporarily inhabiting this temple of flesh, all fear instantly dissolves. And in the total absence of fear, healing is not a distant or uncertain possibility. Healing becomes an inevitable biological, psychological, and spiritual consequence. Your subconscious mind has kept this decree with absolute fidelity in the eternal book of life. The instructions for the complete restoration of your blood, your nerves, and your bones have already been sent to the deepest matrix of your cells. Nothing in this universe can stop the force of infinite intelligence when it is activated by the unshakable conviction of your peaceful heart. You do not need to continue begging for miracles or fearing the passage of time in your physical body. The energy that sustains the galaxies and keeps the planets in their perfect orbits is the same. Energy that renews your skin and soothes your nerves at this exact second. Trust in the perfection of the inner process and surrender any remnant of doubt to the power that can accomplish all things. You are the living, conscious, and radiant expression of the Most High God walking upon the earth. You are the legitimate heir to all health, all peace, and all perfection that exists in the universe. Starting tonight, you no longer walk through the world as someone who begs for help, cries over their fate, or begs for temporary relief from the pain in their body. You walk with the upright posture of someone who is the absolute master of their own mind, as the conscious and serene captain of your physical vessel, fully aware of your divine power to decree your own liberation. No past symptom holds any authority or power over your present moment. No pessimistic medical opinion can override the divine law of constant cellular regeneration. Absolute perfection is your true and only spiritual identity. Vibrant and unshakable health is your natural state of being. Acknowledge your inner greatness and let the light of your consciousness illuminate every dark corner of your organism. When you align with the Creator, your physical body obeys the command of perfection, and all pain dissipates like the shadow before the dawn. Say this out loud, or repeat in silence within your heart. I am the perfect expression of divine life, free from all pain. As you lie down tonight, in the final, sacred minutes before your eyes close and deep sleep gently enfolds you, execute this practical instruction with devotion and absolute surrender. Turn off all screens from the outer world, brush aside thoughts of tomorrow's obligations, and categorically refuse to visualize any symptom or pain in your physical body. Place your right hand gently over the center of your chest. Feel the rhythmic, calm, and divine beating of your heart, and acknowledge with gratitude the living presence that keeps it beating without you having to make the slightest effort. Do not use long sentences or complicated theological concepts to talk to your deep mind. Reduce your entire sincere desire for healing, inner peace, and biological purification to a single word charged with pure feeling and conviction. Health, health, health. Repeat this word slowly, in a soft and soothing tone, as if cradling a small child in your lap, feeling the warm, restorative, and blessed relief course down your spine until the very last moment of your waking consciousness. While your physical body rests in the quietness and peace of the night, your subconscious will work ceaselessly in the engine room of your biology, rebuilding tissues, soothing inflamed nerves, and purifying all your flesh. And upon opening your eyes at the dawn of a new day, you will know in the deepest realm of your soul that the mind harmonized with God has already begun to transform all your pain into vibrant life, renewed strength, and total restoration.